But he loved her. He loved her all the time. So why did he stop speaking to her for 16 years and she lived in the same house? That is what starch does to you. Starch divides you from yourself. It divides you from your wife. Starch. Look what's going to happen. C.C. Charles started crying. Why? Because he felt that he did something wrong, but it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. So many of you sisters blame us for our behavior. Stop. It's not us that's acting, it's that starch. And vice versa. Vice versa. Sometimes sisters does things that you just have to wait. You can't really charge her with any penalty. Because starch is interfering. Because C.C. Charles, he was booing. But 3 months later, he called me and said, "Hey, Doc, could you treat my wife? Because she needs help. She's 62. Fine." 6 months later, they were on a honeymoon again. So the essence of this, what it shows, to be obedient to the food that came with creation. It brings peace. It makes you smile all day long. It makes you love everyone. You know your place, because I know that I am from the continent they call Africa. I don't know if that's what we call it, because we didn't have a name for it. We just lived there, right? Because when we lived there were no ABCs to be any vowel sounds. We just lived. And do you know that there are people in Africa today that has no language, but they live. They live. They didn't have to write any paper and study any dictionary. It was just like, because you could read all the books in the world, and you eat the wrong food, you will be sick. But if you eat the right food, and you never read a book, you will see there is a difference. But we have to read the book to get back to that state. We have to go back and read those books, get back into the state of seeing. This is how we could digest this. We are electric people. We are carbon people. And you know something about us? Because of the concentration of carbon, we grow organs and cells back. Glands back. Zadia Ife from New York. She had myasthenia gravis. Myasthenia gravis is the degeneration of the cells of the brain. But it paralyzes you. Prior to her coming to me, they had cut her thymus glands out. She took the treatment. 6 months later, she went back to the doctor a year later. The doctor said, "Your thymus gland grew back." The gland grew back. Where we grow glands back. We grow breasts back. There was a woman from Augusta, Georgia, who was brought to me. Her breast was rotting off. Her husband used to pull pieces off. But from behind that rotten breast, there was coming another one. You see, we have yet to understand the power of these herbs because we were taken away from them. But now we begin to pass back. There's a little boy that's in Los Angeles. I went to give a speech in a church on Hoover. And a little boy came up to me, and I'm looking down. He said, "Dr. Sebi, Dr. Sebi." Yeah. "I'm Baby Sebi." "Baby Sebi?" He said, "Yes." They named him Baby Sebi because from the day he was born, all he had was his mother's breast. And at the age of 3, they give him sea moss. We would eat it raw. The boy, when he went to school, They couldn't put him in kindergarten, they put him in 4th grade. And when he got to the 2nd grade, I had to put him in 3rd. The boy is, look, he's strong, never been sick. So his mother and his father never had to spend any money on sickness or pills. So we want to do that. We want to now develop a healthy nation, not a sick nation. And to develop that healthy nation, we have to omit all of this. But you will see the benefit because there will be classes. I promise Melvina that there is some sisters. There are some sisters in Philadelphia that cook the best food. I was in her house. And she knows about you too. Both of them, because when I talked to Beverly, I said, Beverly, do you know anything about the Nuwaubians? Oh yeah, they come to me all the time. Oh yeah, and the young man was here last night, he's one of them. I said, I didn't know that. They come to her to buy the herbs, and they have a big conversation. I said, good, I'm gonna join them. She said, if you join them, I'm gonna join them. In fact, I met a young lady from England. Her name is Karen. She makes some of the most beautiful jewelry. She says, Sebi, yesterday I was at the table with Melvina. And she said, but I'm going to join too. So there's a lot of people that knows me, that know that I'm not a member of anything. And now that they hear that I'm joining the Nuwaubians, they're going to want to join too because they're going to feel something good. You know, when winter comes and sometimes, I'm around November, the heat is not on yet. And it's laying on the sofa, and it's about 8 o'clock at night, and you're lazy to get up, and your mom will come and pull that cover on you. It feels good, isn't it? Because she came and she put this warm cover on you. You feel clothed and protected. Oh, Mom just did that for me. But that is how I feel with you. You know what? That is asked of me from you, that is required for me to do, it is done. I thank you so very much. That's the end of the lecture. But now we're going to come to the better part of the lecture. I made compounds especially to revitalize and to cleanse. One of them in particular, we have here, that you see there. They were made to energize and to treat the central nerve system. There is a policeman by the name of Mark. Mark come by and he buy the Biento, and he said, Dr. Sebi, do you know that Biento, since I've been taking the Biento, I can't make an arrest. I went to a family squabble. You know what I did? I said, what? I asked them to allow me to go in the house and sit down. And I began counseling the man and the woman, and I left, and everything was all right. He said, I can't be doing that. Because the Biento just chilled him out. Then he go into the Mort Park, where there's a bunch of brothers gathered, talking whatever they was talking about. He said, you all need to have a bottle of Biento. Our brother pull up, we already have ours. So it is there. We also have a salve that is very effective for your knees, pains, and whatever it aches. It's there. So we put these things together, knowing that we left our food back home. So I traveled back home, and I got herbs, compounded, and they're working. Because like many people have seen me many times do something that at my age you shouldn't do. But I fell one day off of a ladder on my knees, and I couldn't. I said, well, how come I didn't feel any pain? I fell off the ladder on the floor, which was, this is nice, this ain't concrete. But I didn't feel any pain. I said, now what? I say, Matun, I just fell on my knees and I don't feel any pain. So I fell again. I didn't feel any pain. That's what that sea moss will do. But we made the sea moss and some other herbs in a tablet. I took 3 of them this morning, and I know I'm going to be up all night because it gives you a lot of energy. So please, you purchase that if you can. Are there any questions? First one. Verlago. She asked about Verlago. You know, I have not been as successful in the past as I would have liked to be with Verlago, but in the last 6 years, I think I found the answer. Yes, it's the lack of iron. It's carbon being lost because of iron that supports it. Next question? Yes, ma'am. Then you, right. The black dress. Blood clots. We have the dissolved blood clots. Potassium phosphate. We have the lily of the valley that breaks up even hard tumors and corns. It breaks a blood clot. We have a composition known as the tonic electro. We have a mini package that will break it up. Not only break it up, but to thin in the blood and purify the blood. You, ma'am, or sir. Oh, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Good for what?
Fibroid.
Fibroid. The question is asked, what is good for fibroids? What are fibroids? Fibroids is the accumulation of what? Toxins. Starch begins the process. And they're small, then they get larger and larger, and then they burst. When they burst, they spread. They call that cancer. So what we have is a product that begin to reduce the fibroids as they came. And at some point, they roll out. A woman came to us from New Jersey with 14 fibroid tumors. Gloria Walker. She was never supposed to have a baby. She has 3 little girls. Yes, sir.
2. Diverticulitis and sugar.
Diverticulitis. Are we going to the colon? Yes, that's right. And sugar. Well, I suppose that I can talk about the sugar. Diverticulitis I didn't have, but I had sugar. I was diabetic, which made me impotent at 30. I was diabetic at 27. And what the man did was to de-obstruct my pancreas, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. Diverticulitis. Well, we have something that is very extremely bitter. We call it chelation 1. And it will remove polyps and inflammation, which is diverticulitis. Inflammation of the colon.
Okay. I had ordered the intensive care should be between Monday.
Yes, sir.
And, now for my, that's for me for the diverticulitis, but for the sugar rule, bowel 1 and 2.
No, but they could have sent you another little package with the package for diverticulitis for the pancreas.
I got it from Jenny.
From Jenny. Well, I'm going to talk to Jenny because she should have, if you had tell her that, she would have sent you with the same package.
Well, it's not going to be like.
Oh, I understand now. Yes. Yes. Diabetes. Now, when your bones are brittle, you need calcium, right? But when the islet of Langerhans and the pancreas are all obstructed, what do they need now? Chromium. Because the pancreas is chromium. Unlike the bones, calcium, and the blood, iron. Each part of you is made up of a mineral. This is why when they give you vitamin, what are they doing? They're only injuring us some more. I want to make sure that we would not be injured anymore, especially our family. Our nation can't be healthy, has to be healthy. Has to be. Yes, ma'am.
What should I be eating for osteogenesis imperfecta?
What should you be eating for what?
Osteogenesis imperfecta.
I've never heard of that.
It's a hereditary bone.
But there again, if we are addressing the bones, what mineral are we supposed to think about using or replacing or treating? Calcium. So as I fall on my knees to show how your knees could improve at 74, you don't have to feel any pain, we have that sea moss plus other products. First, we have to remove the inflammation that causes the disease in the first place, then give you the mineral that has been offended or depleted by the presence of the disease. Next question, sir.
All right, yes. Dr. Sebi, I've spoken with your mother, and for about the past 6 weeks, I've been breaking out with some kind of rash that looks like welts. It comes out like 6 times a day. And I've been to the doctor. I've never had no kind of disease, nothing ever. Everything I'm tested. And everything is supposed to be clear, but I keep breaking out with these welts all over.
When you bathe, do you find that sometimes you have to run out the bathroom? Because you're itching?
Yeah.
I had that. I had exactly what you had. That's nerve. That's nerve. I used to break out with welts.
Yeah.
I used to buy calamine lotion.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Man, it's nerve. That's okay. We'll treat that.
Okay, you want to for that, and if I'm going to put my hair faded in that top.
Well, unlike you, I always had a bald head from a little boy. I didn't like nobody in my head, you know. But we have a nerve, a composition, a hair food. I don't know if you have some. No, but we have a hair food oil that we will have here in Atlanta, and you will carry it.
You have to put a nerve.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah?
Most definitely. Man, do you know that I was given a car, and I hate to drive it. Man, I hate to drive this car. Every time I drive the car, people look at me, especially when I got it 4 or 5 years ago. Eddie Murphy, a mother, took our compounds, and she felt so good. He bought me a car. A Range Rover. You know, that's an embarrassing car, because people think I'm a millionaire. And I don't like that feeling. Yes, sir. Irritable bowel syndrome. If we have for diverticulitis, you know we have for irritable bowel syndrome. Sure we do, brother. We have that. Yes, ma'am. Gout. Oh, I could talk about gout and kidney disease. I have a friend named Fred Walker. Fred Walker went to Honduras, and he had a belly out here. He couldn't see his other parts for 7 years. He said, man, I heard about you. And they say you cure diabetes and gout and all kind of high blood pressure. I said, Fred, if you take my compound, you're going to get sick. Very sick. Oh, man, come on. I said, okay, take this. 2 days later, Fred was talking about how strong he felt, and this and that and the other. And the 4th day, he was down for the count. His wife flew in from Los Angeles and took him back to LA because I'm kidding her husband, and I'm supposed to be his friend. And when he got back to LA, the doctor looked at him, they couldn't find anything. So Fred is home thinking about me again. He said, but you told me you're going to get sick, so let me go back. He came back to Honduras. He said, I'm ready. He was there for the first 2 weeks. He's happy. On the 3rd week, he's groaning and he's crawling. Fred was staying in my hut, in my room. I'm traveling, and I'm crawling. He said, man, I'm hurting. I said, I know. I'm crawling to the bathroom. I said, I know. He crawled to the bathroom. Fred was in a wheelchair. Fred couldn't do it. Finally, at the ending of 2 months, Fred no longer had that big belly. Fred no longer had gout. He's no longer taking the 18 pills. His diabetes is gone. His diabetes now is 94, steady without taking pills, 18 pills a day. Yes, this is why, I want to mention this, that this is why I built that center. Because I know that when you reach a certain age and you have accumulated all these different diseases, you need to stay away now. Because the body is going to go into a zone. And the body does things with you that I myself, as long as I have been in this vocation of giving, providing, I've seen things that I never dreamed to see. Here, before I go into the next question, a young lady named Denise de Leon, Washington, D.C. Diabetes, kidneys, and blind. She woke up one day after 3 months of treatment and told her diabetes left, and she told her girlfriend, "That's a beautiful dress you're wearing, that blue dress." And the girl said, "What?" She opened the refrigerator, took what she wanted to take, went back upstairs. Denise lived upstairs. But Denise is blind. So Denise went back to bed. Then she woke up again. She said, "I dreamt I was seeing, but I'm seeing." She dreamt that she was seeing. She dreamt that she saw her girlfriend in a blue dress. When she came down the second time, she heard her girlfriend telling the neighbor across the fence, "Something freaky happened today. Denise saw my blue dress and she's blind." And Denise knew she was no longer blind. Wait. Denise dreamt, right? So now I'm in St. Martin. A man is in a wheelchair. His name is Philogen Lake. Anybody that's 18 years of age only saw him in a wheelchair because he was 18 years in a wheelchair. He said, "Hey, doctor, you think you could help me?" I said, "I'll try. I never had anyone 18 years in a wheelchair, but I'll try." He said, "Please try." Okay? So the first month, second month, Mr. Stick, who was his friend, would come by and say, "Philogen, how you doing?" "Well, Philogen, how you doing?" And every day he would come by. So one night Philogen went to sleep and dreamt that he was walking and that he went in the backyard and he took 3 avocado pears and put them on the dinner table and then went back to sleep. When he woke up next day and he tried to raise his leg up, his leg voluntarily did it, and the other one too. He stood up, he sit back down, he go to the back, and there were the 3 avocado pears. So it looked like when you're sick for a long time, in a certain state, nature lets you dream yourself back. You never jump back suddenly. Yes, sister. I can't hear you.
What can I say for enlarged thyroid?
What kind of? What about enlarged thyroid? Oh, thyroid. Oh, now thyroid, enlarged thyroid, not thyroid. When we talk about the thyroid gland, we talk about thyroxine, right? But thyroxine is something that your body produces, like it produces hormones. Thyroxine is produced by the thyroid gland for the endocrine system to maintain equilibrium and balance, not to mention energy. Now, thyroxine needs a substance that is gonna be converted into thyroxine, and that is potassium iodide and potassium bromide. Yes, we have something for you. Yes, sister. Do I have a chart to show what? What consists of? Oh, no, I don't have that. But we could do that. You see, let me say this, then you. My wife and I and my daughter has been the only 3 people, along with Jenny, the last 8 years. There's only been my wife, my daughter, I, and Jenny. And the dads come from all over the world, but we didn't have anyone to help us. Now that I'm a member and your brother, you could help me develop these things. There are many things that need to be done. But it was only me and my wife. The sister. Start what? Helping? Well, look, that's up to you, brothers and sisters now. Because I have to start my journey. I have to find a way to compliment you where it would not be as stressful on you. And likewise, as a family, we do things together. It makes it easy. In Spanish, they have a saying, with two, the dead isn't heavy. Yes. Thank you. I want to thank you for saying that because I want to be useful. I was always the little boy that always had these ideas about doing things. I was always in disagreement with everything. So I suppose in being in disagreement, something good had to come up sometime because I'm in disagreement with everything. Because Richard, my little friend named Kirby Brown, at 12, 1945, we're 12 because I was born in 1933. So he said, we left the church, the Seventh-day Adventist church. He said, I asked him, how you like the meeting? He said, man, I didn't like the sermon. I said, why? Because they talk about wisdom and knowledge. I want money. I said, man, wisdom and knowledge get everything. He said, you go after that. I want money. Well, I didn't know what wisdom and knowledge was. I don't know what it is now. Because I don't have wisdom and knowledge. I may have accumulated a bunch of information that I could use now and you could use it. But I'm not wise. So, years went by. 1994, Tom Flowers came to me and said, guess who's coming tomorrow? Kobe Brown. I said, wow, it's been 40 years that I see Kirby. I hope he's a millionaire. But if by chance he's not, I want to remind him that we are alive. Don't need the millions. Because you could have the billions and you're sick, what difference does it make? But if you're healthy, man, I live in the street, but I'm healthy. You understand? I don't need the money, I'm healthy. So that was a Thursday. On the Friday, Kirby didn't arrive. He had to take a plane to New Orleans, and they had to use an axe to cut the door down. Kirby died of a heart attack in his room. Remember what he said? He wanted money. I said I wanted understanding. Well, my understanding brought me to 14 years more than Kirby. How much would you pay for 14 years of life? You see, this is why it behooves us to change our diet. It is important. It brings peace. It makes you live longer, but happy. You know, to live long and sick. Oh, come on. That's a deficit. To live long and happy without the stress that you could love, especially yourself first. That's important. And that could only be obtained by the food that we eat that is consistent with our gene structure. Yes, sister. Mm-hmm. Yes, very much so.
All women now over a certain age, they go for a pap smear, every woman will be tested for it, and it's about 50% of mostly black women who have HPV. What they don't know what it is, what caused it, and they say that it is, of course, there's no cure for it. What exactly, you know exactly what it is.
Remember when I said how many diseases there are? So we have a case where the mucus is in the central nervous system, the muscles, and the brain. But especially there's yeast present. Yeast is present. Yeast is a murderer. Yeast destroys us, especially the lymph nodes, the lymphatic system. Yes, we do have a treatment for it, and a successful one. Yes, the young man with the baby. Were you dancing with the baby? Because somebody had a baby that was dancing and they put the baby down. Where's the baby? There's the baby over there, the little girl. Yes, sir. I was wondering where the baby was while you were dancing. Yes, sir.
Two. One is young people pinch nerves, and is there an amount that you give children in opposition or comparison to adults?
What about the children?
About do you give children a lower dose because of the size of the earth?
Oh, we have special compound for children
Okay.
called Banju. Pinch nerve. Well, I could talk about pinch nerve, Mr. Teddy Pendergrass. Remember, he could only see, his nerve was not only pinched, it was severed. But the doctors could not understand. How could they take an extra penny and the spinal cord has been severed? There's a big space of 4 inches in between. How could that come back together? Guess what? You cut your hair, right? Does it grow back? You cut your nails? Does it grow back? You crack your bones. Does that mend back? But what about the central nerves? You only have to remove the acids that divide them, and they find themselves back to chemical affinity. And when Teddy was moving everything, his biceps and triceps were back, they said that could only be accomplished through cell regeneration. Well, we black folks do anything. Yes. Obesity. Obesity, the question was asked, what is that for obesity? I know I was 291, that wasn't too bad for my height, but I had a stomach way out here. Obesity is when we eat excessively, compelled because we are not being fed. We eat, but we are nourished. So we have a tablet, just came out, that would, like I didn't eat this morning, I've not eaten anything today. I may not eat today. I drank those tablets today. I'm fired up now. So what it does is to break down the fat. It's a diuretic. Also deliver a lot of energy. Iron, phosphorus, potassium, all of this. And you'll be losing the weight like 2 pounds a day without feeling hungry. Yes, we do have that, but that's my daughter there, Kelly. Of course, because you nourish it, you'll be feeding the baby. Of course, there's no chemical in it, so it's not as good. Yes, ma'am. What? Oh, Candida. Yes, that's another yeast infection. Thank you, sir. That's another yeast infection. Sure, we have the Candida. Yes, ma'am. You know, for the last 20 years, they've been asking me for a book, and I kept refusing to write that book. And my mother said, why don't you write the book? I said, because there are billions of books in the market, why do I have to add another one? I said, but the book that you're writing is not about you, it's about nature. What most people doesn't know, you have to show us what nature is saying. Is not what you say, because you too was a recipient of that which nature has to offer. The book is being edited now, it should be out any minute. You all will get, and you all may be the one to sell it. You would like it, yes sir. So yes, sister. Yes. Kombucha mushroom. Yes. You see, kombucha fits over here. Kombucha mushroom is not a natural mushroom. It's an artificial plant. And because it is artificial, you have to feed it glucose. Now, could you imagine God making something that needs sugar? That's kind of crazy, isn't it? Kombucha was made. So when you eat that, it was made in Japan. Kombucha was made in Japan. They're telling me to cut, and I want to thank you so very much for, oh wait, this lady here, yes. Cataract. Now there's a man in Los Angeles by the name of Mr. Frederick that was blind for 11 years. He was my first patient. The man was seen in 2 days. And there's Miss Margaret that had the retina detached and bleeding in the eye chamber. She's seeing perfectly well, and Mr. Frederick is seeing, so we could help you. And thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
I was watching you all the time.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.